Hello, everyone. Welcome back to On Point Politics. And today I'm going to be doing my weekly presidential election prediction for the channel. I understand that the last couple of days I've only been posting like every other day, but I promise, guys, next week I'll be back to the uploading daily schedule. Just had a little bit of a busy week with school, but if you guys do enjoy the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post bell notifications so you don't miss another video that I post. And just for $4.99 a month, you can join and have a membership for the channel. You'll get access to a Discord server to chat with everybody in the community and get access to exclusive videos that we'll be uploading once a week, which I will start uploading next week. So next Saturday will be the first exclusive video of the channel. And without further ado, let's get into the video, guys. And so for the 2024 presidential election, it is going to be Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. It's clearly likely, based out of the results of New Hampshire and Iowa, that both of them will be the front runners for their party's nomination. And I'm going to be filling in some of the safe states for some of these candidates. Now, if you've seen, Trump has his biggest polling lead that he's ever had in history as of right now. He's currently sitting on 538, or not 538, excuse me. He's sitting at a 3.6 lead in the aggregate. And actually, now it is 3.8. So he actually went up 2 points from yesterday. Yeah, he actually went up 2 points from yesterday. So I do need to, in fact, update this to a 8.3 swing to the right. And you can see that according to my model, Trump is winning Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Nevada by pretty big margins. He's winning all of them by likely margins. He's winning Georgia by a likely margin as well. He's currently winning Ohio by 18 points, Iowa and Florida by 17 points, North Carolina by 11, Alaska by 15. Hawaii and California are on the brink of being likely, and Illinois is within 5, or is basically within 6 points of flipping Republican, with the Nebraska 2nd District going red. And so this is going to play a factor into my presidential prediction. As of right now, I do think that, based out of, the polling data, I suspect that maybe Trump wins the popular vote by 1. In my last prediction, I had Biden up by a point in the popular vote as my baseline. But at this point, I'm going to have Trump up by 1 on the popular vote. And that's going to significantly help him in the electoral college. So Iowa and Ohio are going to be over, 10-point wins. This is going to be a glaringly, obvious statement. A lot of the rural counties back Trump quite a bit compared to Obama, in the early 2010s. And so these states, been trending Republican. Biden is a historically weak incumbent. And so I do think he'll be winning these pretty easily. South Carolina will be an easy over 10-point win, including Alaska. I think Florida will probably end up being a likely margin for Trump. I will suspect he wins it by about 8 or 9 points at this point in time. I think that the Miami-Dade area and the southern area of of Florida will shift completely to the right. A lot of these deep blue, areas will probably shift. He'll win Pillsborough County back. He will probably flip back Duval by quite a bit. I think the state of Texas will also be a likely state for Trump. I do think he possibly also wins it by 10. I think he could possibly win it by over that 10-point margin, but for now, I'm going to have it at a 7, 8-point win. I think, especially with the Texas border crisis, the southern border crisis that's going on right now, I think Trump is going to have the advantage, within the electoral college to be able to win the state by a pretty massive amount. I think Illinois and New York will be under 10 points. In my last video, I had New York being over a 10-point win, but I think in this case, if Trump does win the popular vote by 1 point, I do think New York will go back to that 8-point characterization from before, and I think Illinois will be about a 5.5 to 6-point win for Biden. I think New Jersey will fall under that 10-point margin. I think it'll be an 8-point victory for the president. I think that Nebraska, Maine's 2nd district will be over a 10-point win. Maine's at large will still be likely, in my personal opinion. And I think Colorado will fall under a 7, 8-point win, kind of similar to Illinois and New York. And so these are basically almost all the likely states. We would have North Carolina join that likely category. I do think Trump will win it by about 6 or 7 points in this timeline, especially because of the fact that, this state was really close in 2020. It was a 1.2 win for Trump. And I do feel like because of the fact that he is going to gain a lot of rural support and improve with African American voters, that the state will just not vote for Biden or not even be close. The next likely state we're going to be adding here is the state of Georgia. I do think the state of Georgia, as of right now, if Trump wins the popular vote by one, will be like a 6, 7 point win for Trump. I think all of the African American turnout is going to ridiculously drop during this cycle. And I do think that if Trump does win the popular vote by 1 point, he probably is within a couple of points of winning the black vote. I think if he does win the popular vote by one, he's probably tapping about almost 30% of the black vote, with Biden maybe at like 50, 55%. So I do think with that, I think the Atlanta suburbs and the Atlanta area would trend massively to the right, including the rest of the rural state. So because of that, I do feel like that is going to be the case. He is probably going to end up winning it by over 6 points as of right now. I think New Mexico will be a lean state. This is the big oil state of the country. And I do think with Biden stopping the Keystone Pipeline and many other economic and trade disasters, I do think that the state will narrow up if Trump does win it, the popular vote by a point. Another state that gets added to the likely category is the state of Arizona. The state of Arizona is a border state, and I think because of the southern border, even though the state has been trending to the left, I still think that the state would vote for Donald Trump by over 5 points if he were to win it, in this scenario with Trump up by a point in the popular vote. And we're going to be getting up to the rest of the states. I think Minnesota would still be lean, but it would be especially close. I think it would be like a 1.5 point win for him, probably. I think the Minneapolis area will trend massively to the right, especially the rural areas will probably solidify for Trump with Biden being a historically weak incumbent. You will see that kind of reverse his trends there. If you look at Wisconsin, Wisconsin will almost hit that 4.5, or almost hit that 5 point win. It'll probably be a 4.5, 4 point victory for Trump. Pennsylvania will probably be a 3.5 point victory. And I think Michigan will probably be somewhere in the 2 to 3 point range victory. So he's already got his 306 electoral vote margin in the electoral college. I do think Virginia would fall under 5 points in this scenario. I think it would be, a 3 point win for Biden. I think the rural areas, Trump would kind of rebuild that Youngkin base that he had, in 2021. And with Biden being historically unpopular, I just can't see him winning it by a likely margin, especially with Trump's massive polling lead, on which I am basically giving him a 3 point margin of error. That's basically what it is. Since Trump is up by four practically, I'm basically making a Trump +1 to account for a 3 point error miss. And that's basically what I'm trying to say here. Now, Nevada will probably be a lean margin of victory. It'll probably be a 3.5 point win in a Trump +1 scenario. And I think Nebraska's second district would end up flipping in this scenario. And I think because of the fact that Trump performed extremely well in New Hampshire, despite the fact that half the electorate was independents, I am going to give him the state as of right now. So he would win 317 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 221. I think with Trump's best issue being immigration, not so much the economy as of right now, he is going to massively overperform with some independent voters. And a lot of his policies in polling have been becoming increasingly popular since 2020. A decent plurality of voters do support a border wall. A lot of people view Biden very unfavorably on issues like immigration. And so I think because of that, Trump will be able to win the election in a 2016 styled map. This does look like a 2016 map because you have Arizona and Georgia being like the likely states, while Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania are the closer ones. And so, and then New Hampshire going till red. So it is basically 2016 on steroids as of right now. Now, this is subject to change. This is a pretty good prediction for Trump. I'd say this is probably one of the better ones for Trump out there right now. But I think that those, polls that have him up by 8 in Wisconsin, or have him up by a couple of points in Nevada, may not be as fake as we're thinking. And so I do actually have Arizona and Georgia being likely states for the first time. And now Arizona votes to the right of Michigan in my presidential prediction. And so if you guys did enjoy the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell so you don't miss another video that I post, and consider joining the channel for a membership. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.